Hi. I want to start by saying thank you everyone for being here, and what a privilege it has been to work alongside the other amazing speakers, and thank you to everyone who helped to organise this. My name is Julie Kate Mitchell, and I work for the Pacific Autism Family Network as their employment and engagement specialist. My work involves supporting people on the spectrum through the process of applying and retaining work, as well as providing autism awareness training to businesses. And I was diagnosed as being on the spectrum when I was 27. One of the reasons I received a diagnosis as an adult is because I taught myself from a young age to disguise my autistic traits. In our community, this is commonly known as masking. And we do it consciously or unconsciously. And as a child, this manifested in seemingly unnoticeable ways. For instance, on my first day of school, I asked my mum how I should act, and she said, just smile and be yourself. So I did. I smiled all day, and the teachers told my mum that I was the most smiley preschooler. And then I got home and I complained to her that my face hurt. I just take things really literally. Another instance of masking is when I would stand in the queue, or I think you call it a lineup in Canada, and I would twist from side to side. And this is important because for a lot of people on the spectrum, it helps us to emotionally regulate. But in order to stop me from doing it, I would knit myself underneath my blazer to remind me to be still. And I still knit myself when I'm in the queue to remind me to not move. Another thing is that when I was at school, I wasn't sure who my friends were, but I knew who I wanted to be friends with. And I'm still surprised that not everybody does this, but I would watch them as they interacted and listen to their conversations. And then I would go home and role play in the bedroom by myself and imagine that I was talking to them and copy how they would act. And for the most part, I was actually really successful at making friends. It still baffles me that not everybody does that, apparently. But doing this is really exhausting, and often at school, I would just go and find a place that was really quiet, whether it was during classes and I would just skip them, or on a lunch break, and I would just go and sit and be by myself because I'd be overwhelmed. And it would also cause anxiety, and sometimes that would manifest in physical pain. Masking is something I also do at work, and a lot of autistic people do at work. It can be anything from copying someone's eye contact and mirroring it, or mirroring their body language. It can also be not telling people about sensory sensitivities and just kind of grinning and bearing through it. It could be copying scripts from my colleagues. So when I hear them say certain things, and then I'll kind of copy and paste that directly into conversations that I have with other people. And holding up a professional image could be really exhausting. And in worst cases, this can lead to autistic burnout, which is something that I got, which is where and it's different for everyone, but for me, it was where my sensory sensitivities increased to the point where lights and sound became painful. It's not so bad now, but it was really bad for a while. And stimming can be you can't not do it, it just increases. And it can be really difficult to emotionally regulate. I was lucky enough to be able to receive an autism diagnosis, but not a lot of people have this privilege. It can be expensive, and the wait times are long. And the support I received following my diagnosis enabled me to become aware of my masking behaviours, and so that I could learn to unmask. Because like I said, it is really draining. And from this, I had to relearn how to act in social situations at work so that I could be my authentic self. Unmasking involves consciously checking in with myself to ensure my sensory and support needs are being met And again, I'm just one autistic person, it's different for everybody. This can involve turning down lights, wearing noise-cancelling headphones, and using direct communication, because I tend to miss implied things, and allowing myself to stim. It also involves self-advocating, engaging in conversations about my interest, and just being conscious about my social battery. Unmasking comes with certain benefits, like I'm less tired trying to mirror other people's behaviour, although sometimes it's automatic. I'm not so worried about being accepted anymore. And because of this, I'm learning to become comfortable with people either accepting me or not accepting me. And I have met some amazing people. But unmasking can come with different challenges. And I notice that people perceive me differently when I unmask. I suppose it's because my autistic traits become more visible to them. For instance, stimming, like hand flapping, can sometimes be perceived as childish, and this can result in people having lowered expectations of us. In addition, direct communication and reduced facial expressions or monotone voices are sometimes perceived as standoffish. So, while masking might make other people more comfortable around me, it enables me to control how other people perceive me. Whereas unmasking allows me to be less tired of trying to behave like other people. I'm learning who I am to live authentically. When I am unmasking, I feel like I have more space in my brain to be free and comfortable doing things like stimming, spending more time alone, and engaging in my preferred interests. Simply put, masking autistic traits to fit in and be perceived as normal can take away energy that can otherwise be more effectively spent. So don't judge us based on our behaviours or abilities. Unmasking is allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and authentic by accepting that our strengths and weaknesses are different from other people. We acknowledge that our needs are different from other people's and respect that staying true to our authenticity is essential for our well-being and our ability to contribute to the workplace. But there's another side to the coin, and that is how employers and colleagues support autistic people on their teams. So that's why I'm here today, to talk to you about how to provide support in the workplace to people on the spectrum. And I've narrowed it down to 3 words that I hope will guide you. Listen, observe, and believe. Listen. Listen with empathy. When a question is asked, even if it's been asked before, or when ideas are shared, even if the tone or perspective given is different from your own or the one you hoped for, we may say things in a way that doesn't make sense to you immediately, but we offer unique ways of thinking because we have a different perspective. Observe. Observe with patience. If you notice someone is struggling with a task, work with them to find a solution. If you observe us being overwhelmed, one way to respond is to look at the environment for sensory triggers or any changes that might have occurred. Provide lots of visual directions or examples and condense or sum up instructions into clear, actionable steps to ensure we understand what is being asked of us. Believe. Believe wholeheartedly. When someone says they're autistic and that they need something, it might not make sense to you that they can't have their desk in the middle of a busy walkway. But please believe them when they say they will work better at a different desk. It might not make sense to you that they have less social energy, but if you trust that they need time to recharge, they will be able to be more effective at their job. Everyone is different. These tips are just some examples, but if you listen, observe, and believe your autistic employees, we can thrive in our jobs. But when we feel safe to unmask and be who we are and our support needs are met, we may be some of your team's most loyal, productive, and insightful members. Thank you.